Hello, welcome to the 19th episode of the Aussie Footy Show, the BJ Show Footy Show. Get it underway. We come to the fourth split round, and we've got one more split round to go. We have 5 split rounds this footy season of the 2025 AFL premiership season. The final is we've finally done it, and let's get straight into it. So that's we'll get into the round 15 round for the results, then previews for round 16 for the final split round. Before we get started, we had some big upsets as well for this round. During this round, we'll share all the results, and let's just get straight into it. I can't wait to share with you all. So let's drive into Thursday night footy. That's where we are. That was silly of me. I forgot to put my footy tips in for this Thursday night football. 4 times 16, 8, 104, 9, 9, 63. With the crowd attendance 37,570 at Optus Stadium. That's where we are. Fremantle Dockers host Essendon Bombers. Now, technically, I actually did tip the Fremantle Dockers, but unfortunately, I just completely forgot. They win well done, winning by 41 points. My guess was 40 points. In the last episode, that's exactly my guess. Unbelievable. Well effort and better performance by Essendon. Much better, but well done from Fremantle by Essendon. Each quarter, that both teams did start slow, but Essendon did win the pressure early. After quarter time, it was all Fremantle with the goals. And it was with football as well at Optus Stadium in the West. Fremantle, well done with the win in front of your Fremantle supporters. All the best next week against St Kilda for Fremantle at Optus Stadium and Essendon. Enjoy the week off. Get back in the second half. It should be a good week off to see where you are at this time of the season. We now come straight to the player of the game. Luke Jackson includes 144 AFL fantasy, 21 disposals, 4 marks, 4 tackles. We have including 3 goals, 50%, and both for defensive half and the forward half. 12 score involvements, 231 metres game, and 48 hit out. Well done to Luke Jackson from the Fremantle Ruckman. Friday night footy, and my game, this is the game of the round. Clearly that this is first time in history that we'll find out very soon of this rifle. It's definitely the biggest upsets of the round. So we do go to Geelong. We are at GMHB8 Stadium and the Den in Geelong. Geelong Cat host Brisbane against the Premiers, with the crowd attendance of 35,367. So a totally sold out crowd. Congratulations to Patrick Dangerfield's 350 game. Final score 14-8-92, defeated 6-15-51. Slow start by Geelong, and another loss down at GMHB Stadium on the Friday night against the Ponies of Brisbane Lions. Well, like I said before we get straight in my thoughts, I would like to congratulate to Patrick Dangerfield playing 350th game. And I do apologise not sharing that in the last episode on the 18th here on the BJ Show. It just wasn't aware of that, but now I'll congratulate to this legend. Unfortunately, didn't get the win. But anyway, Brisbane Lions, back 2003, the year they won a premiership actually, 22 years ago. First win in Geelong. So that tells me Brisbane are such a team that they can win 4 quarters of football in Geelong. You keep accuracy, you'll win the game. Well done defeating Geelong. And it's a huge win. No matter how long it is, it's a big win. Geelong, don't get down on the season. It's not over. Don't have that. You will bounce back. And I know that every time I see they will take on Richmond. Look at this as a Pratt way you can play your sexy football and hopefully a better performance. Kitch accuracy, go back onto the track and look at what you've done and why you scored 15 behind, and knowing that you can do better down at the gallery. Well, also Brisbane, and also enjoy your week off, enjoy this little momentum. You're back at home against Port Adelaide, and hopefully they will continue to look into a strong September action. Well, we don't go straight into the part of the game. We do have the little Logan Morris from the key forward star from Brisbane. Include 13 disposals, 8 marks, 4 tackles, 103 AFL fantasy, 17% in that half, and we got 83%. And also for half with those 5 goals, 8 score involvements, and a win 169 metres game. Well done, Logan Morris from the Brisbane key forward star. Super Saturday football, and we got 3 games to share. We enter big football, and my goodness, this is what we expect. First game, Carlton North Melbourne. First up, well done North Melbourne. Back in action, big win at the G. They do play well. If they do well, North Melbourne back in that, the 90s feeling that North Melbourne are back in action. But after that loss against Fremantle North Melbourne, back at the MCG against Carlton, they're not having a very good season, but North Melbourne bring that pressure early and did Carlton back kicking. So bad luck, Carlton. Next week, back kicking early in the game cost the game. It's early in the game, Carlton win, but it was a kick straight. It'll be a different style of football. Carlton head to Adelaide Oval to take on Port Adelaide on Thursday night football. So really will be a massive one with North Melbourne travelling to Launceston as they take on the UTS, University of Tasmania Stadium against the favourites of Hawthorn Hawks, which will be a test for North Melbourne. I think Hawthorn with fresh legs after that week off and also that win. I think, Hawthorn will be staying in Tasmania, ready to take on North Melbourne, and it should be a really good contest as well. The crowd attendance was 56,236 at the MCG, which is a good crowd. The team that North Melbourne are back in action, and the final score was 13-6, before defeated 10-13-73. So Carlton had chances to actually win this game, but they didn't keep score. It will be all really, really even. And 11 point, wow, that's pretty good effort for a loss. But North Melbourne got the victory and got the 4 points, and that's what, and that's really a bit more painful than that. But let's just get straight into the part of the game. Tom Power of North Melbourne include 34 disposals, 3 marks, 5 tackles, 113 AFL fantasy, 48% in the defensive half, 52% forward half, 3 goal assists, 5 score involvements, and a 6-14 metres game. Well done to Tom Power. North Melbourne midfield star. Okie dokie, second game on Super Saturday football, and we head to the Adelaide Oval for Port Adelaide hosting the Sydney Swans. Crowd attendance was 33,576, with a final score was 9 goals, 71. Defeated 7-10-52, 19 point win, and my goodness, well done to Sydney Swans. Before did that, good effort Port Adelaide. Always next week against Carlton at home, the Adelaide Oval on Thursday night football, which we have not seen from the Power hosting games on Thursday night football. Hopefully in the future they can do that. No, they can do really well. Well, we're just taking this right now. Brisbane do take on at the Gala in the following week after that. So focusing on this game, slow start both teams, and it was nice weather, no rain at all in sight. Goals were very hard to come by, and knowing both teams do get wins. So they got the wins from last round. Well done to Sydney on the road win. Big time last Sunday's match. Port Adelaide just destroyed Port Sydney Swans, and Sydney Swans took that advantage into a 19-point victory. In bad kicking for the win, it's uncommon, but their key forward, my goodness, sits behind, which should be at least 4 goals. 2, it happens. But Sydney do host Western Bulldogs, so this will be a really good opportunity to get back. I think it'll be a good game. You should be a close game. What will be a great game to watch for both teams are in good form, which is good. Part of the game, let's get straight into it, is Isaac Hingy, where he includes 28 disposals, 4 marks, 4 tackles, 111 AFL fantasy, 2 goals, 35% in defensive half, 65% forward half, 6 score involvements, 303 metres game. Well done to Isaac Hingy from the Sydney Swan midfield star. Final game for Super Saturday Footy. We head to the Saturday night. We got the one game at Marble Stadium, Collingwood and St Kilda. For the crowd attendance of 43,039 packed at the Marble Stadium for Saturday night footy, which is great. Another win by Collingwood and a good effort to St Kilda against Collingwood for all 4 quarters. I would like to congratulate, well done to their star midfielder, Monkas Winger, holding off their star, future star, Nick Dacos from Collingwood. Really put him to the test in that midfield. But unfortunately, Collingwood get the 4 points, 16-12, 1-8 to 11-8, 74. 34 points was the margin. So, before we get to that play again, like I said, St Kilda really did hold off not losing by 10, 11 goals. It really put them to a 5-goal victory, which is still a big win. It's still, but if St Kilda can be in that game a lot more closer, it could be a heat of football. But for 43,000 plus at Marble, almost a sold-out crowd, that is what you want from a team like Collingwood. Basically 85-90% was Collingwood and about 10% St Kilda. So that's about how much you'll see at a Collingwood home game anyway. Sold-out crowd. Part of the game, Darcy Cameron from their ruckman. Well done. 19 disposals, 8 marks, 2 tackles, 2 goals, 128 for fantasy, 25% in the defensive half, 75% forward half, 8 score involvement, 28 hit-outs, and a 436 metres game. Well done, Darcy Cameron, on your game performance from the Collingwood ruckman star. 2 remaining games for the second to last split round, and I'm happy to share with you right now, this I think is definitely the game of the upsets, and I went with Gold Coast Suns, and that's where they are travelling to take on GWS Giants. Where are Giants right now? They're back in action, but before we get to that, we do head off to ENGIE Stadium, which is hosted by GWS Giants. Their crowd attendance was 10,504, which is very low for a Giants home game, which is okay. This game is the second upset for the round. GWS Giant, well done. Taking the win they needed to keep themselves finals hopes alive. Final score 16-10, 106, defeated 14-9-99. Bad kicking, bad scoring as well cost the game by the Gold Coast Suns. Good start by Gold Coast and GWS. Lots of goals in that opening quarter, first quarter, but it was anyone's to win. But to make this short, Gold Coast do take on Melbourne and GWS Giants will join that win and week off, which is good for GWS, where they're going to be. But Gold Coast get back, hack on Melbourne in front of, get a good 15,000. You know, it's going to be a really heated contention because Melbourne will be coming off from that awful loss, back-to-back loss. St Kilda bye, then Port Adelaide now taking on Gold Coast on the road. Will be a test for Melbourne, but Gold Coast back at home, very good, and see what happens. But part of the game, make it short, Gerald Witts, a monogram performance in this Super Side. It's improved since Damon Hardwick has taken over the Gold Coast coaching role. This fella has taken his game to a new level, and especially this season, which is very in good form. We include 20 disposals, 3 marks, 7 tackles, 1 goal, 138 for fantasy, 54 hit-outs, 50 plus hit-outs. It's very unusual to do in a game of this level, and it's incredible. 22 defensive half into 78% forward half, 1 goal, assists as well, 7 score involvement with a 166 meters game. Well done on your performance, Gerald Witt from the Gold Coast ruckman star. Final game for which is the Western Bulldogs Richmond at Marble Stadium was a good crowd of 38,208 with good for Sunday afternoon football. Well, before we begin, we're making it really nice and short, so let's get into it. Richmond, good effort, knowing this is a challenge and knowing that they were in the contest most of that game. Not their favourite stadium, Richmond, in their history since they are decided more games at Marble than MCG. You know, after their week following time, they will take and host the LA Crows. So MCG for Richmond will be what they will like to do. But right now they take on the Western Bulldogs, which is going to be a test from Richmond. Well done, Western Bulldogs, with the win. Western Bulldogs will be tested from Sydney at the SCG. Well done. done? Well, it should be anyone's game, but we do come to the final score. 21-9, 135, 8-8, 56. Like I said, like Richmond, they do take on Adelaide. MCG, back at the G for the Tigers. They love playing that oval. And love playing that big oval. They lost against Collingwood. They absolutely did. Competed 161 points at the MCG, which is very difficult. Lost by 10 points against a team that's going to be winning the favourites for the flag. So, against Collingwood. So, I tell you right now, Richmond will be absolutely tested. They need to win that A game. But I think Adelaide, after their week off, they'll be fresh and ready to go, knowing that what Adelaide need to do is just go to the MCG and play Adelaide Crows football. And same as Richmond, play their Richmond football. I think Richmond's rebuilding done so well. Lost the game of the upset was GWS. So if Richmond can bring their ball pressure early, they're looking much to win this game against the Crows. But you don't know how Richmond can respond after a massive loss. They'll come out early, and that's always a very important thing to know. But play the game, Monka's bomb ability, well done from their star. Will include 128 offensively, 3 goals, 36 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 39% defensive half, 61% forward half, 4 goal assists, 12 score involvements, 11 inside 50s. Well done. 11 inside 50s and a 716 metres game. Well done to the Monka's bomb ability on another great performance from the Western Bulldog midfielder star. Well, before we head off in today's episode into the final round for previews, we would like to share the teams having that week off, which were Adelaide Crows, Hawthorn Hawks, Melbourne Demons and West Coast Eagles. We'll see you in round 16. Time to head into the final split round, the final round, and I can't believe we got so many games to share. So making this nice and short, we sit straight into it and drive into it. Thursday night footy, we head to the Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide versus Carlton. What should be a good game to watch? Both teams coming off losses, which one team needs to win it, and Carlton by 21 points. Friday night footy, we're in Sydney at NCG. Should be a good, decent crowd, sold out crowd, which Sydney, I've been doing that for the last this footy season, premiership season, and it's Sydney taking Western Bulldogs. What should be a close game, and in fact, this should be one of the hardest games to pick and game of the round as well. But in face of it, after Western Bulldogs getting a really good run, I'm going with Western Bulldogs to take the win. Well, we do come to Super Saturday footy, and with 3 games to share. First up, it's Gold Coast Melbourne. Melbourne should be ready, fresh on the legs, ready for a big second half. Gold Coast coming off a bad loss as well the week off. Gold Coast will be very, very good at home, which is very unusual that Fremantle did do that in the wet. So they want to get back on that home range, get back on the win, and Gold Coast to win by 15 points. Second game, heading to UTS in Launceston. So this is the game I think also we might be upset. But I am just sticking with Hawthorn. Yes, they had a week off. Well, North Melbourne will have so much confidence coming and ready to take on Hawthorn, but Hawthorn by 28 points. I think North Melbourne, knowing that Carlton are not playing that great, but Hawthorn in really hot form, so it should be a really good entertainment. And the final game, with this will be going to Collingwood and West Coast. Collingwood, West Coast will be ready to take on the second half, but after that big win, just by 34 points over St Kilda by Collingwood, I think Collingwood will absolutely belt West Coast by 50 points. West Coast need to find a way to stay in that game or over 4 quarters. That is the game, and that's why I would like to see by West Coast. But Collingwood too good, and they'll win by 50 points. Final 2 games for the final split round. First game on Sunday afternoon football at the 2:50 East Adelaide time slot. So it's 3:20 local time in the round of Melbourne time. So Richmond and Adelaide. Knowing this, that Richmond are in rebuilding, but I think this is a really good rebuilding. This is a really shocked the competition that Richmond are going to finish 18th and overall. But Adelaide at the MCG once again for the 3rd time, they'll win, and I think they'll win by just under 6 goals. It won't be a thumping victory by Adelaide. Really, Adelaide will be ready for a big fresh legs, ready to go, big second half, rest some good players, and that's what Adelaide has done all year and so far this first half. But I think it's going to be a really good entertainment football, and we do come to the final game really at Optus Stadium, 3-2 St Kilda. Last time St Kilda actually took care of St West Coast, and technically St Kilda lost in Perth early in the season. This is the game St Kilda cannot afford to lose. I think they have a chance, but 3-2, too easy, 45-point victory, and should be a good game to finish up round 16 for the final split round. Alright, that's all we have for today's episode, 19th episode on the Aussie Footy Show, the BJ Show, Footy Show. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more episodes such as Aiden's reviews, thoughts and all that. Coming soon, the Aussie Footy Show, Extra SNFL, the Australian Sport Edition Show, and also mid-season ladder, the AFL, SNFL, SNFLW, and SNFL Men's. We got the National Rugby League, so the NRL, we'll look into that, as well the Suncorp Super Netball competition, as well the NBL Central competition, which is the Adelaide South Australia Competition Basketball League, as well a special international agenda episode. So check that all out. Alright, thank you so much for listening here on the BJ Show, Aussie Footy Show. Thanks for listening. Alright, the BJ Show's out. Peace out. Bye for now.